To me, Global Reach Out is inspiring.
It's connecting with God, reaching out to the world, and impacting life.
The stories that shared is so personal and it deeply impacted me.
Global Reach Out to me is reach out to the truth.
Connecting hearts, connecting lives. You're listening to Global Reach Out.
Dear brothers and sisters, thanks for tuning in to Global Reach Out. I am Sister Angeli, and starting from November, we have launched a program called the Kingdom Business Culture. This program is based on the workplace training course by Global Gyra entitled Christ-Centered Entrepreneurship. This course was compiled by Pastor Tony Tay Ming Kiang to help brothers and sisters live out Christ in the workplace. We encourage brothers and sisters to sign up for this course so that they will not only have the opportunity to communicate directly with the instructors, but also establish long-term and close contacts with the kingdom business operators in the group, learn from each other, and encourage one another, and put the theory into practice. Living out Christ in the workplace. For those who are interested, you can refer to the end of the manuscript and register by email. In today's program, we are going to explore how to overcome the temptations and challenges of corruption. Corruption and bribery are the biggest obstacles to economic growth. In the process of becoming a developed country, developing countries must first solve this problem. A company cannot avoid this problem if it wants to grow. Isaiah 54 verse 14 mentions, "In righteousness you will be established. Tyranny will be far from you. You will have nothing to fear. Terror will be far removed. It will not come near you." The "you" here refers to Jerusalem. A city is unshakable because of righteousness, and because of righteousness, this city is also prevented from oppression, so that people living in the city feel safe and not frightened. Psalm 89 verse 14 says, "Righteousness and justice are the foundations of your throne. Love and faithfulness are before you." The reason why God's throne is indestructible is because God rules all things with righteousness, justice, love, and faithfulness. God acts righteously, which reflects His kingship. God's righteousness meets the standard of fairness, which reflects His prophetic nature. God is full of love and righteousness and justice, and this love meets the standard of faithfulness, which is the manifestation of His priesthood. Righteousness and justice are the foundation of God's throne, and love and faithfulness are His throne. God's throne is strong because of righteousness. God's throne is eternal because of love. Corruption and bribery will inevitably lead to people distorting justice, which is an act that God hates. Here, the temptations and challenges that entrepreneurs need to be vigilant about can basically be divided into three categories: bribery, extortion, and boycott. The word bribe occurs 25 times in the Bible and is sometimes translated as gift. It has a negative connotation, except in Proverbs 17 verse 8 and Proverbs 21 verse 14, which are more positive. We know that gift-giving can be an act of kindness or a bribe, depending on the motivation of the giver. As for extortion, that is to force others to achieve their own goals by means of threats. It may be to threaten the safety of others or it may be to make huge profits by taking advantage of others. Boycott refers to the exclusion of a person or group, not only by refusing to interact with the other person, but also by encouraging others to do the same. What we should note here is that there are indeed some teachings about resistance in the Bible, such as we must not be friends with the world, we must not love the world and its things, we must not be with those who are called brethren, but who are sexually immoral, are covetous, or idolaters, or abusive, or drunken, or extorting fellowship, not even to eat. But at the same time, the Bible also reminds us that for things that are not principled, such as Romans 14 verses 1 to 12, some people believe that they can eat anything. Some people only eat vegetables. Some people think that one day is better than that day. Some people see that every day is the same. We should not resist it. We are free in Christ, but we cannot force others to insist that everyone is strong or weak in faith or resist it. Each of us should act according to conscience and faith, but most importantly, we should act out of love and be careful not to stumble upon weak members. When facing with complex corporate ethics issues, especially those in the gray area, we really need wisdom from above. James 3 verse 17 says, "But the wisdom that comes from heaven is first of all pure, then peace-loving, considerate, submissive, full of mercy, and good fruit, impartial and sincere." Here, we can see the order of the truth. The scriptures tells us that the true wisdom manifests, first of all, purity, without any filthy thoughts, which is prophetic. Then, peace-loving, considerate, submissive, full of mercy, and good fruit, which is priestly. In the end, there is no prejudice, no hypocrisy, which is the manifestation of kingship. To overcome the temptations and challenges of corruption, Christian entrepreneurs need to follow 3 principles. We call them PhD combinations by their initials. The first principle is personal conviction. This is on the kingship level. Romans 14 verse 23 says, "Everything that is not of faith is sin." This means that if we do something without knowing whether it can be done or not, it is our sin. As servants of God, each of us should act according to our conscience and be firm in our own will. In the process, answer the call with faith and remove obstacles to complete the mission. The second principle is to honor God in all things. This is on the prophetic level. No matter what we do, we must act according to God's will and according to God's truth. Only then can we honor God and be pleasing to God. Furthermore, no matter what the circumstances are, we are grateful and do not say anything that disrespects God. Finally, if we respect God, we won't do anything that might stumble others. Thus, God will surely value us. The third principle is a fully dedicated life. This is on the priestly level. Firstly, we are willing to sacrifice ourselves for the glory of God, and we are determined to live and die for the Lord. And we are the Lord's people. Secondly, we are willing to love others as ourselves for the benefit of others. And we would rather choose to give up our own freedom for the benefit of others. To sum up, Christians must never take part in corruption because it is contrary to justice and sins against God. The challenges we face can be divided into 3 categories: corruption, extortion, and boycott. In the face of complex ethical issues, we need to uphold the following 3 principles to overcome the temptation and challenge of corruption. These 3 principles are: 1. Personal beliefs. Do not do anything that goes against your conscience. 2. Honor God in everything, and do not do anything that does not please God. And 3. Lead a fully dedicated life, determined to live a life of loving God, loving self, and loving others. Dear friends, this is where we end today's episode. I hope to see you again on the next episode of Kingdom Business Culture.
The program is proudly presented by Global Reach Out. We welcome you to share our live enriching webcasts with family and friends through our website, global-reachout.org. Let's reach out to bless more lives together.